Hey friends, welcome back to Call Me After Coffee. My name is Bree. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been around for a while, thanks for coming back. Today I'm doing my Ask Me Anything I'm Turning 30 Q&A. I literally can't believe that by the time this video is live, I will be 30. I will have walked on this earth for 30 years. Where did the time go? It has flown by. In celebration of turning 30, I would do a Q&A. So I asked some questions over on Instagram. In case you don't follow me, my Instagram is always linked down below. If I ever have any kind of polls or anything, they're always over there. So if you're curious about checking any of that out, feel free to go down below and follow me on Instagram. Shameless plug. Anyway, I'm gonna get right into the questions. I got a decent amount actually, so thank you to everyone who sent questions. The first question is, when did you fall in love with reading? Honestly, I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't love reading, but I've definitely gone in and out of being like a more and less avid reader. So I remember like in kindergarten reading like small chapter books and going to the grade 1 class and getting chapter books because I just loved reading so much. I read a lot in elementary school and I read a decent amount in high school, and then there was probably like a 6-year period where I maybe read 1 book a year, sometimes less than that. And then maybe a couple years ago, I really got back into reading, which is when I've been reading like a solid amount of books each year. And I am so excited that I'm here, and I've started a BookTube channel, and I just, oh, so exciting. Second question is your favorite season and why? And this one is a really hard one to answer for me because I have 2 favorites, you'll learn. I'm bad at making decisions. I love springtime because it's when everything comes back after the winter. I love watching everything get lush and green. Plus, in the springtime is my birthday. So spring I would probably have to pick, but I also do love the fall just because I think it's so beautiful. Apparently for a person who doesn't like change that much, my 2 favorite seasons are the ones with the most change in them. What do you love to bake? And honestly, I am only just getting good at baking. Baking had never been my forte in the past. I am not good at following recipes. When I cook, I just float around the kitchen like a little fairy and throw things in and it tastes good. Baking, you need to be very precise. I don't even like measuring things, so I'm getting better. I would say probably lemon squares are my favorite dessert. I also make a really good birthday cake. And I love baking bread when I have the time. Who would you love to meet that is past or is alive? I'm gonna go with someone alive because I feel like my brain is blanking on people who've passed away. A year ago, I probably would have said Frederick Bachman, but I did meet him and that was amazing. He was so nice. I think that it would be really fun to meet Marcus Zusak if he ever does a meetup in my part of Canada because he wrote Bridge of Clay, which is my favorite book of all time. Also, I think it'd be really nice to meet Amor Towles, who seems like a really sweet person as well, and wrote my other favorite book of all time, which is A Gentleman in Moscow. What is your favorite thing about BookTube? And I'm gonna go really cliche here and just say I love the community. I have met some amazing friends online I just love, that I speak to all the time about books and everything. And I love the sense of community. I love the amount of love that's in this community. I know it has its faults. I know every little area of the internet is going to have its drama, but as far as the sort of circle that I have fallen into, I feel like it's a really pleasant, sweet place, very encouraging to one another. Everyone seems to be really excited. Like, I get personally really excited when I see my friends' channels growing. I think it's so fun. I love my own channel growing. I think it's so neat, and I love that I've finally kind of found the place that I feel like I fit. What would you tell your 15-year-old self? Whew, this is gonna spill some tea, but I would probably tell my 15-year-old self that being angry and mean all the time leaves you with a lot of regrets. My 15-year-old self probably wouldn't listen to me, but I wish that she had figured some things out a lot earlier. Your dream job as a kid, honestly, I kind of fell right into them. I really wanted to be a mom. I didn't have a lot of big aspirations. I wanted to be a mom, and I have loved photography since I think I got my first camera when I was like 10 years old, and I am both a mom and a part-time photographer. So I managed to achieve both of those things. I've always been really artsy, so I've always just loved making things, and so I feel like when I pictured myself in the future, it was always making something, and I still love to do all those things to this day, but I never had like a big dream for like a career or anything like that. It just wasn't something that drew me in. The next question is, who is your favorite child? And my sister is a horrible person and knows that I would never choose a favorite because I don't have one. And also she asked, what day of the week is it? And I think it's Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. She's making fun of me because I literally have no comprehension of time right now. April 19th, we're birthday twins. Where is your favorite physical place? Yes, it was the 19th, and yes, I love being birthday twins. My favorite physical place would probably have to be the family cottage. I love that place more than, I haven't traveled a lot, but that place just has so much sentimental value to me, and it's a place that I have gone to every summer my entire life, and I just think it's beautiful, and the sound of the water and the sunshine and the sunsets, and like I could go on forever. The cottage is definitely my favorite place in the world. Things in jars. Opinions, 5 stars, loved it, amazing, super weird, but I loved it. In the past 30 years, what's one thing you're most proud of that you've accomplished? And honestly, I think, and I'm not saying that this is like me doing this all on my own, because I've definitely had some guidance from upstairs up there, but I have definitely grown as a person. I think the thing that I'm most proud of that I've accomplished is how much I've grown as a person and how much I have changed since I was an early teenager, because I was a ruthless kid. I was not very nice. It didn't always start that way, but some things went on, and instead of taking the high road, I went straight for being a mean jerk, and it was not okay, and I'm so glad that I have come out on the other side. And while it left me with a lot of regrets, I'm very proud of the amount of growth I've made as a human being, and I just hope that I continue to be even more gracious and even more compassionate as I get older. What are some of your favorite books from your childhood? Whew! Does anybody else get like this when you get asked a question, all of a sudden your mind goes like, I've forgotten everything that I've ever known? Cliche, but I Love You Forever is definitely one that I always loved, by Robert Munsch. Stephanie's Ponytail, The Paper Bag Princess, trying to think, pretty much anything Robert Munsch, let's be real. Pigs, oh, Pigs, and Something Good, those books were great too. As far as like books that are a little longer to read, Charlotte's Web was the first chapter book I think that anyone ever gave me. I got it for my 7th birthday. I still have it, and I loved it as a kid. I read the crap out of that thing. I also remember there was a book called I think it was called Child of the Wolves, and it was about this husky that got raised by wolves and then became like the leader of the pack or something. I remember loving that when I was younger. Trapped in Ice was another one that I really enjoyed. It was about this ship that got trapped in ice, that got frozen, and then it's about this girl, and I think it's written diary entries, and it's just about like their survival. I don't even remember how it ends. I know that somebody died in it. I feel like maybe her brother died. I can't remember, but I really loved that book as a kid. I'd like to reread it, but I don't want to like ruin it for myself. I'm trying to think. The Secret Garden. That was another one. I only read it once. I read it when I was 10, but I'm rereading it with my daughter, and I remember all the reasons why I loved it so much in the first place. What other non-bookish hobbies do you have? So I love to cook. I have recently gotten into gardening in the last few years. I love to put in a vegetable garden when I have time. I can crochet. I do calligraphy from time to time. I sew. I like to do acrylic and watercolor painting. I like to draw. I like to journal. I haven't done a lot of journaling lately because there's nothing going on, but I have quite a few hobbies. If you could create a soundtrack to describe your life so far, what would 3 of the songs be? And I am not very good at song names. I think I would probably have to start, the first song would have to be something kind of tragic because my brother passing away was kind of a big defining moment as a 7-year-old, so I would probably say Time of Your Life, because that's the song that if it comes on the radio, I need to pull over and just sob. So I would say probably that one. High school would probably be something like I Hate Everything About You by 3 Days Grace, or something super emo. And then my this stage of my life, I can't really think of a song off the top of my head, but it would have to be something that's a lot more fun and upbeat and happy, because I have definitely come out of those dark angsty days, but I can't think of a song off the top of my head. I'd probably pick something by like Jack Johnson or something like fun and light. What's one of your favorite things to do with your kiddos? I love reading to them. That's one of my favorite things. I also love, sometimes I'll turn on the TV on like a painting how-to and we'll all paint together. And I love just going outside and exploring with them. I love walking through forests. I love when they help me like with the chickens or when they help me in the garden. They're just really fun. What do you miss most about your childhood? Honestly, I'm one of those weird people who doesn't reminisce about their like younger years. Like I have never missed high school and I don't really miss my childhood, but maybe that's because like a lot of big sad things happened and a lot of memories are tainted by other things. I didn't have a bad childhood. I definitely didn't, but I don't really miss being a child. Like I remember like my game plan of growing up was always like, I can't wait until I am my own boss kind of a thing, which is probably just me being like really rebellious, but I can't really think of a time that I like miss. What are your top 3 biggest pet peeves? Ooh, I feel like I don't, that I can think of, have a lot, but I feel like it would probably have to be to do with driving. Like my biggest pet peeves are, I would honestly say, people who drive with their high beams on and don't turn them off, people who don't know how to signal, and people who drive extremely slow in the fast lane of the highway. Honestly, I feel like I don't really have that many pet peeves, except for to do with driving. What's your favorite flower? Ooh. I like a lot of flowers. I have a tattoo of bluebells. I really love lily of the valley. Lilacs smell amazing, and every year I wait for my lilac trees to bloom. I might have to go with lilacs, but I know there are other ones. I also love dahlias. I kind of just love anything like bright and pretty. Do you have any hilarious childhood memories you can share? You guys might think this is funny. It's really embarrassing, but when I was like in I think we were in grade 5 or maybe 6. I don't know if anybody else's school was like this, but there used to be like, you know, you'd have like the girls group and the guys group, and when people wanted to ask somebody out, they would like ask a middleman, like, can you go ask this person for me? And I had a friend who was not always so friendly, and she told me that the kid I had a crush on liked me, and she told me, and why I fell for this, I don't know, but she told me that this boy wanted to know if I would go out with him, and if the answer was a yes, I should go and give him a hug. And I didn't think this through, and I did this thing, and then that boy threw a basketball in my face. Favorite memory with your sister? When I was 6 and my sister was 3, my dad was supposed to be home and watching us, but he works shift work, so sometimes when he watched us, he was sleeping while my mom was at work. So anyway, we asked our dad, who is like dead to the world because he's asleep on the couch, hey Dad, can we go to our park, which was this park a couple blocks away? And he had no idea what we had asked. He said yeah, okay, and rolled over and went back to sleep. So he woke up a couple hours later, could not find us, and my sister and I had ventured all the way to this park. We'd been gone for I don't know how long in the afternoon, and he had no idea where we went because we were never kids who wandered off, and we asked permission, but obviously a new rule had to be placed that we don't go anywhere when Dad's asleep. We don't ask Dad important questions when Dad's asleep. Anyway, we got to this park and we played there for I don't even know how long, and then I remember we were trying to make our way home, and in order to get home we had to pass our grandma's house, and so we stopped there, and she calls my dad and she's like, are you missing anything, like 2 anythings? And he was like, oh my goodness. I honestly don't know how long it took him to tell my mom. Favorite place you've vacationed? Well, my cottage is obviously like my favorite place ever, and I haven't gone on a lot of vacations, but I really loved the Mammoth Caves in Kentucky when we went, and the Creation Museum, we went to that as well. Loved going there. That was such a cool trip. But then last summer we actually went to California and we stayed in Yosemite Park, and that was amazing. We also visited Tuolumne Meadows, and I cannot remember, Mount Ritter. I didn't make it to Mount Ritter, but I made it to like the base camp near it, and I got altitude sickness. Well, I got altitude sickness way before we got there, but I left a lot of my insides on the side of that climb. Your go-to movies that you can watch again and again? Oh, The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, I really loved P.S. I Love You for a while until I realized how bad Gerard Butler's accent is, but that movie used to make me bawl like crazy. I'm trying to think. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, rom-coms, apparently, or just love stories. I don't know why, I love those movies so much. I'm sure there are other ones, but those are probably the best ones. How do you like your coffee? On a normal day, I just like my coffee with lots of cream, nothing else. And if I'm like ordering at a restaurant or something, I would order a medium with 3 cream because I love rich coffee. No sugar though, never sugar. I don't have a question, I just want to say whoa and I love you. I love you too. And also 30's coming for you, so watch out. If you could only wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be? Probably leggings and a sports bra because I like to be super comfortable all the time. That wouldn't always go over well and I'd freeze to death in the winter, but as far as like my favorite things to wear, it would definitely be any kind of like summer attire. Do you speak moistly? I hope not, and I hope that I never have to answer that question ever again. If you could live anywhere else, where would it be? Somewhere really temperate and warm. Like somewhere that's like always the same temperature, but a warm temperature. And I would like a lot of humidity because it would make my hair really curly and nice, which I know a lot of people hate the humidity, but I love it. My husband would hate it though. I don't know exactly where, but if you have a place that fits that. And I would have to be able to take all my family and friends that I love with me there because I would get lonely without them. Have you read The War Outside? I have not. I've never even heard of it, but I will have to look it up. What fictional character would you love to be best friends with? Ooh. Actually, Bridie Devine from Things in Jars would probably be a good answer. I'm really bad with character names when I don't have like the book in my hand. I feel like I would love to hang out with Liesel and Rudy from The Book Thief. I know that's like really sad, but I would love to hang out with them. If I was like a younger me, I would have loved them. All right, guys, that's all the questions for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. If any of those questions you have answers to, leave those down in the comments below. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss future notifications. I upload most Mondays and Thursdays, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Thanks again. Bye.